Hello, everybody. Welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Flynn, and I'm here with Demas Rusli. How are you, Demas?
Hello, Flynn. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. Thanks for waking up with us today. Nice early morning for you again. Um, and hello, chat. Hey, Eric, Sam. Great stream before with Voodoo and Chris. That was awesome. And Chris in chat. Hello. Good to see you there. Oh, hey, Johanna, you're there as well. And Festus, what's up? Thanks for pimping our stream in the previous Behance session. We do appreciate that. Super awesome. Telling people how great Demas is, and he is very great. So it's been what I think only a week since you were on last. Is that right? Everything's
A week
blurring
and a
together.
day.
A
Yeah,
week
yeah,
and a
yeah.
day.
A week and a day. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming back on again. We're going to do some more creative photography editing, and something we were talking a lot about last week was the campaign that has been going on,
Yeah.
which was really cool. It's just been great timing in terms of we were chatting about that, and then the next time we blink, and there's like 3,500 people have entered this, have
Yeah,
participated in
it's
this
pretty crazy.
campaign. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that. I can bring it up as
Sure.
well.
So a friend and I, his name is Terry. His Instagram is asterisk. We decided to host a competition. It's called an FFA, which is short for a free for all.
Hmm.
And the whole idea is to compile a bunch of our images, raw images, unedited, to put them all into a folder and send it to you guys, and so you guys can edit it however you want. And the best three photos, or yeah, we'll win some prizes. I guess that's it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll bring up the competition page here. We'll show it a couple of times just to show people how you can enter. So yeah, you just pop your email address in there, I assume, Demis, and then you get access to some of these photos and go for it from
Yeah,
there.
there's 70 photos that we've put in there, 35 each.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you just have to download the photos, edit them however you want, and then post them to your Instagram with that hashtag and tagging the sponsors. I guess that's about it.
Yeah,
But
cool.
yeah, it's been really fun. So many amazing entries so far. Like some things like I would never even imagine myself. Like
Mm.
it's pretty cool to see what people come up with.
Oh, it's super cool. And we'll have a look at some of those as very soon as well. Hey, Michelle, tonight over there. Yeah, I know it's quite fun, isn't it? Like we're just starting our day over here and everyone's doing something different. So it's nighttime over with you. Hey, Jen and Festus, 11 a.m. in New Zealand. Yes, it is. Angela, good to see you again. Diana, Daniel, hey, what's up? Oh, it's great. A lot of friendly faces in the chat today, which is awesome. Feel free to ask lots of questions as we go through. But we thought we would. Oh, Demis is frozen for a second there, but I'm sure he'll be back. So I'm just going to flick back over here, and we'll have a look at some of the competition entries. So this is the stay-at-home FFA like hashtag, and you can see all of the entries here. So as Demis was saying, you can start out with some of the photographs that some of these amazing photographers have already created, and then sort of mash them up. And Demis still seems to be frozen. Hopefully you'll be back soon. So some of these, so yeah, this is like 3,691 entries so far, which is pretty incredible. And it's obviously a great opportunity to do this sort of thing because it's obviously impossible, if not hard, if not impossible to get out there and take some photos and everything like that. Because I have lost Demis, I'm just going to go dark for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just talk amongst yourselves as I try to bring you back. Oh no, it looks like you are back.
Sorry, guys. It's
You are
something.
back.
My internet, something happened with it. I don't know what happened. I'm back.
Okay, it's all good. You're back. That's good because my extent of explaining photography was just about to show it's nothing worth. I was just kind of running. I was just running through the entries here and talking about how it's a good opportunity now because we can't get out there and take photos, and you have access, and permission to kind of remix these photographs like in your own way.
Exactly. In a way, it's kind of like you're traveling, right? You're traveling to a place. Maybe you've
Mm.
never been there before, or maybe you have, but like you're kind of just grabbing a photo from a location that you're inspired by, and then you can edit them however you want. You can see that like a lot of the photos people have like you created different edits with the same type of photo. So if you can see like that train one, there's two different edits right there. Yeah, and the one like two rows above.
Yeah,
like it's just like very. You can do whatever you want to any of these photos, which is kind of fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many. So how much longer does this competition go for?
So there's 1 week left. It will end next week on Thursday. But yeah, it's been really fun and really like amazing to see all these amazing entries.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's have a bit of a chat about what we're doing today. So this is your feed, and we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be seeing your edit for this one. So do you want to take us through it?
Sure. So I guess maybe I'll just quickly, if people don't know who I am or something, I just say like I am a photographer and designer. I work in an architecture firm in Sydney, Australia. So a lot of my photography has to do with like architecture and cities and urban stuff, and also I also like to mix it up with a lot of photoshopping and trying to create new worlds from my photographs or from photographs I edit. And this is one of them where these two images are actually in the folder from that competition, but the left side is from Taiwan, and that plane is actually a real plane that flies that low in Taiwan. And then the right side is from New York. And so I took the photo on the right side from a helicopter. And then the left side is a photo by my friend Terry. And yeah, I decided to combine it. I didn't know it would like work so seamlessly and work so well. But yeah, it was fun to try to do. And yeah, it was a challenge, but I really enjoyed the challenge.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great. So just to sort of preface like kind of what we're going to do today. So we have a little timer, as you can see at the top, and that kind of gives us an idea of when we're going to take a bit of a Q&A break. But at the same time, you guys feel free to ask questions as we're going along. Ask Demas anything about his process, Lightroom, editing in Photoshop, being creative, working freelance, all that sort of stuff we can do as we go. But let's get stuck into it. So what we have here is, because of we wanted to bring this up in really high res, and we've had a couple of internet issues. So Demas has very kindly done this entire edit for us, but I'll be controlling it over this side. So if you see Demas's hands and you wonder how he's working so fast, it's not, we're not trying to be tricky or anything, but it's just a better way to bring it in, and it's going to be super high res for us. And it also allows us to do the whole edit in 45 minutes, so we can do some more stuff for the second half. So we've got heaps of content coming today, and Demas is going to tell us, like, maybe you can explain kind of like your process. Like we're in Lightroom now, maybe like, I'll kind of hand it over to you.
So we're just starting off in Lightroom. I grabbed the first photo from New York, and I literally just go down every slider in Lightroom pretty much and tweak it to the point where I like the colors. To me, I prefer usually like bluer tones, and the original image here was kind of dark to begin with, so I just wanted to bring out the lights, bring out the color, and bring up the shadows as well. So this is the New York shot. I had to shoot it like at a very sort of high ISO sort of, and because it was so dark, and also at a very quick shutter speed because we're in a helicopter. Cool. And so I just had to, that's why it was sort of quite dark, and I knew that I could bring it up in Lightroom. And so I was like, let's just try to get cleaner shots, like work the ISO so it's sort of a little bit lower, but at the same time not too high to a point where it's crazy grainy. So I went for those settings, and then I got sort of a darkish image, and I had to just bring it up in Lightroom. So now I'm just tweaking the colors in the HSL panels. And I always like to like my blue sort of like more teal colors, so I always bring that slider to the left a little bit. But yeah, so it's sort of like Lightroom is very subjective, and like it's up to you what you like and what you decide to do with each slider. Nothing wrong, no right or wrong answers. So this is just the first step. So I would do this first, and then I would open it in Photoshop and start working in Photoshop through Lightroom, and then kind of just bounce back and forth when I'm editing.
Yeah. And you always edit raw, right?
Yeah, I only shoot RAW pretty much. I don't shoot JPEG. Is everyone here photographers? I guess I just want to know who's here.
Get a sense of the room. All right, hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, just put your hand up if you're a photographer. Yeah, great to know. Like if you are a professional photographer or you're a hobbyist photographer or anything like that. Yeah, let us know in chat. Do you have chat open on your side?
Get to know. I do. I can see everyone's chat.
Awesome. Yeah,
Caroline, so this is where
sorry, you go.
Oh, sorry. This is where I just like open up in Photoshop first, the first image, and the first step I always try to do is just straighten the photo. So you can do this in Lightroom too, but I find that it's a little bit more flexible in Photoshop. And so I just try to like make sure that the buildings on the left and the building on the right are like perfectly vertical to the edge of the frame. And you can see that there's like a little random gap on the top left. And that's okay because like you can actually maybe fill it in later on if you didn't edit a day side to the left side. But in this case, I'm going to be editing a day side to the left side. So I thought it was okay to just leave that sort of triangle the way it was. But yeah, just like it's just basically you right click and then you click free transform, and then I use the distort tool to just like pull the corners pretty much to make sure it's getting straight.
Yeah.
And then I go back to Lightroom and I edit the second photo, which is this one, which is crazy. I didn't take this photo; it was taken by my friend Terry. But it's crazy to see how low this plane flies. I think it's very close to the airport, but there's this vantage point where you can like shoot it. Yeah. But yeah, there's this vantage point where you could actually see the plane coming through. Like you could see the city in the background. Just like a very interesting photo.
Yeah. Was this taken also in a helicopter, or was this maybe a drone, or?
No, so this was I think there's like a mountain nearby.
Oh right. Wow,
you can just like it's like a lookout point where like these planes just fly through it.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
For sure.
But yeah, I thought when I saw sorry.
Oh no, you go.
I just said like when I saw this photo, I imagined trying to create a night side to it, and that's why I picked the New York photo to combine.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I was going to ask, is it common to like share photographs with each other, like share your photography with each other and kind of remix the work, or is this something that's happening a little bit more because you can't get out there and take your own shots?
I think there's a few more like of these types of competitions happening recently, but I usually try to do at least one a year. But yeah, I think not so often actually, like that we use each other's photos, like because we don't have access to it usually, unless we get like a specific idea, and then like I see someone's photo online, and I was like, oh, it would be really cool if I can edit your photo, and then I just message them like privately.
Yeah.
But like usually these types of competitions, like it usually happens maybe once a year or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been like maybe I've seen like 4 or 5 of these types of competitions happening in the last like few weeks.
Yeah, I think a bit of a climate thing happening at the moment. Yeah, Youssef was sharing asterisk tag in the chat on IG. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that.
That's it. Terry.
Good stuff. Was Terry the photographer that was in our shot last week? Was that Terry that was in the photo? I'm trying to remember who you placed.
The actual person. No, that's Ryan.
Oh, that was Ryan. Okay, cool. Shout out to Ryan then. Yeah. So how often is taking a helicopter around a city and taking photos? Is this like how common is that?
It was like when my wife and I visited New York last year. It was kind of like a little like bucket list item to fly around New York, right. And like just like and then we actually contacted a helicopter company over there, and they were kind enough to let us up, which is nice. Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There was a slight problem because it was starting to get like super cloudy, and it was a Sunday, so we didn't get like the light glow of like the office buildings, but I mean, I can't complain. It's a New York helicopter ride, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's going on at the moment here is I brought both photos into Photoshop, and I first get rid of the plane. So if maybe just scroll back a little bit, it might happen quite quick.
Yeah.
So I selected around the plane using a polygonal lasso, just like a very rough selection, doesn't have to be perfect. And then once that's done, I just right click that selection and then go through and I say like fill, and then make sure content aware is ticked on, and then I just hit OK. And then it kind of just removes the plane almost seamlessly, not 100% perfect, but it's doable for this photo. I also found that, like, see that building there, it's sort of a little bit smudgy on the right side, so I try to fix that by mirroring the left side of the building to the right side. And that's how I kind of fix that building.
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be like, I mean, you could keep going. You could spend like hours on it and making it sort of a little bit more believable and making it perfect. But like as a whole image, like you can't really tell what's going on. And then later on, you're going to be covering it again with the plane at the end. So I didn't like make it too perfect here. I just kind of like brushed it and then like made sure that it kind of looks okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I removed the plane first was so that I could line up the two photos first, and then I can bring the plane in later at the end.
Yeah, cool. Did you just save the plane to another layer?
Yeah, so I just duplicated the layer first to begin with at the beginning. I haven't selected around the plane perfectly yet, but I'll do that later.
Yeah, cool.
There's a question here from Timmy which says, could you break down the Guiyang Road picture next, which is the one we actually did last week.
Oh, right.
So Timmy, if you want to watch the live stream last week, I actually broke that down already, step by step. And then there's another question from Jan Eric Edvardson. What camera do you shoot with, and which lenses are your go-tos? I shoot on a Sony A7R4, and I just upgraded to that like a couple of months ago. And then I only carry 3 lenses with me when I'm out on a shoot, which is the 12-24, 24-70, and 7200. So that's pretty much all I use, just to have that range. Yeah.
What were you shooting? What were you using to shoot when you're in the helicopter?
That was on an A7R2. So I skipped the A7R3, and then the A7R4 came out, and I was like, I should just upgrade because my A7R2 was starting to get a bit old. So here I kind of stretched the Taiwan photo, and I originally I wanted to use that like sort of bigger road, but it worked. It looked like it was going to work better with the sort of smaller road on the left side.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed a guideline from the left. I just drag it from the ruler from the side, snap it to the center, and then drew a box, and then created a layer mask so that I could just like line it up in place. So this is me just kind of like moving the Taiwan photo up and down to see what would match, stretching it and just playing around with it. It's a lot of trial and error, and like usually when I do these types of edits, I think this is the first time I've done it where like it's 2 different cities and it's 2 different like usually I would get like if I'm on a rooftop or something or a lookout point, I would shoot a day shot from one angle, and then I would come back at night and shoot it again. And so it's sort of like there's going to be a match. Whereas in this case, like it's 2 completely different cities, 2 completely different times. So it's like the matching process was sort of a little bit more like trial and error and more tricky a little bit.
Yeah, I think when we were looking at this and looking at the original photos, yeah, they're quite different. Like the one image is like really, really hazy. The other one's like obviously at night. So it makes it like a much more like usually I would have thought you'd try to find like 2 photos that are fairly similar would make the edit a lot easier. But this is a fairly challenging one.
Yeah, and then when I started like rubbing out the middle part, so I'm using a brush, and I'm using like a very low hardness, like zero hardness, and then I'm just rubbing black onto the layer mask. So I'm just like rubbing it out pretty much.
Yeah.
When I started rubbing out that road in the middle, I tried to like grab the road from the Taiwan shot and the New York shot, but then when I started rubbing it out, it actually looked much better with the New York road only. Um, because the New York road had all these like
In the background. So we can check that out until current day Demas jumps back in. He will be here. I'm curious to know if anyone in chat has tried any drone photography. I know that Demas does a little bit of it. Is anybody out there had a try with that?
hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hey, you're back. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Sorry, I keep cutting out. It's kind of like I don't know what's happening today.
It's weird that it's like a really clean cut. Like you're not buffering or anything. It's all totally fine until it just like kicks
It's
off
kinda
and then
strange.
kicks back in. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
I was chatting with chat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm really glad that we did this pre-recording thing because we can still
I know.
watch you creating in the background. So it's actually worked out well. That's why we do it.
Yeah. So, what was I? Where did I cut off at? So, yeah, I was saying before that like, I just roughly brush it, and then like brush it so that the New York road is in the shot,
Yeah.
and then now I'm like, I think soon I'll be like going into a little more detail. I zoom in and I just kind of use a smaller brush, and I just kind of like rub it bit by bit until like it kind of blends nicely.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I was like kind of surprised how well it blended actually, because like, yeah, I didn't expect the two roads. Like, see, it's already starting to like down here, right? Like you can see the detail a little bit. Like it already starts to like look like it's the one photo.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're just choosing which bits to blend through from each one, right? Or you're mostly bringing in
Yeah,
stock?
and the good thing about a layer mask is you can kind of, it's non-destructive, right? So if I
Yeah.
make a mistake, I can just change the brush to white, and
Yeah.
all I need to do is just press the X button on the keyboard, and it
Yeah.
kind of changes foreground to background, and then you can just like keep rubbing it, like, and then rub black, rub white, and then you just try to
Yeah.
make sure it's looking right.
I've got to pause it to look at that amazing walrus ad. That is incredible. Is that really from the photo? That is amazing.
Yeah,
That's so
that's an ad in Taiwan, I guess.
Oh my god. Want that to be an ad for my business. That's so cool. That's like the happiest walrus I've ever seen. We were chatting about drone photography before. I was asking if anyone has done any drone photography. Trisha was saying, no, I love the look of drone photos, but I dislike drones flying overhead. Yeah, it's quite tricky, isn't it? And they're really loud, aren't they? Are they still loud, or have they solved that problem?
They're starting to get better. My
Yeah.
drone currently is a bit is good. Like once you hit up like get up to like 90 to 100 meters, you can't hear it at all. Even like 70 meters, you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
At first, it's quite loud, and then once you take off, it's gone.
Yeah. What's the deal with like getting permissions? I suppose permissions are different everywhere you go, right? Like
Yeah,
some places are much more relaxed. Other places you probably need a permit of some kind.
yeah, for sure. Every city and every country has its own drone laws, so it's very hard to say when it comes to drone photography. But yeah, there's always a website that like tells you what you can and can't do, how high you can fly, and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
try to research and find it on Google. But yeah, it's good to always follow the rules if you can. So yeah, now you can see that like it's already blended in quite nicely, and I didn't even like do anything crazy. All I did was just use a paintbrush, just made it small enough, and just like brushed it to the point where like it kind of just blended to the day side.
Right.
And then it's just like tweaking it to make sure that like everything's lining up, everything's straight. Um, and yeah, it's starting to get there already. Like just from
Mm.
that little brushing. And then here I bring up like a 3x3 grid just to like compose the image a little bit,
Is this a preset that
making it
you
straight.
have? You've
No,
created?
so on Photoshop you can create like a grid line grid. Like you can just type in 3x3 and it'll just make it for you.
Cool.
You go up to view and then I think create guidelines or something, and then it asks you like how many rows and how many columns you want.
Right.
And then here I'm bringing up the original photo, the plane layer, and I'm just like making a selection of the plane. So I use that select subject tool, which is so fast. Like it's one click and then it's pretty much got the plane.
Yeah.
And then I just tidy it up a little bit, adding and subtracting to the selection. I just hold Shift to add, and then or hold Alt to subtract. I'm adding the wheels of the plane that didn't get captured, but like it was so fast. Like back in the day, like I don't know, 2 years ago, you would have to like draw it yourself, but now it's like so easy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's some people in chat as well. Like, yeah, many years ago, it was all pen tool and feathering and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's so much easier to create.
Yeah, for sure.
To select things, and there's smart technology that's involved that can just kind of, like, as we've spoken about a lot of the times, it's just such a time saver because it might not get it perfect, but it just saves you so much time if you just go back in like this than if you had to individually cut everything out every time.
Exactly.
Amanda was asking, have you ever had a drone confiscated at customs? Is that a thing?
Never, but I almost did. I was in Turkey once, and I think they didn't allow drones. Like drones had to be checked in, and at the time, like I was just carrying such a massive drone, I didn't want to check it in, and it was quite valuable. I just like, so I kind of just talked my way out of it. I tried to just like speak to them and like, I can't check it in, blah blah. They were a bit annoyed, but they just let me through. I felt quite lucky.
Yeah.
It's
the object selection tool that we were talking about, just to let you know there.
Yeah, so you have to click the magic wand, and then at the top there's a select subject button, and you just click that. And here I'm trying to position the plane to see if like where it would look nice. Like right now I'm trying to place in the middle to see if like middle was gonna be cool or not, and then I started to play around with it like at the top. Originally it was at the top, so I moved it back to the top. Yeah, it's just like a bit of trial and error, like, you know, what would look nice, how big or how small the plane should be. Just like have fun with it. I wanted to get that, see how there's like the wheels in the middle, like on the, like just in front of the road. I wanted the wheels to be visible, so I made sure that like it's in front of the road and not in front of the buildings on the right side.
Yeah.
Then it disappears and you can't see it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, Yusuf is saying, yeah, the pen selection tool. Good old days.
The good old days.
Thankfully, we don't have to do that anymore.
It's funny, like, I know that selection using a pen, like and then you use like the Bezier curves and stuff like that is like meant to be the best thing, but I've never really gotten into that, and I find it so difficult. So I end up just using the polygonal lasso all the time.
Yeah.
And then smoothing it out by just refining the mask. You can have, you can refine the mask. I do that, or I even just use the blur tool and just like blur the edges. I find that it works for me, but I should probably learn the pen tool as well. But now maybe I don't need to because of the select subject tool.
Yeah, I mean, there's always just different ways to achieve the results. If you don't need to, you know.
Yeah.
There's just different ways, really. I was always pen tool. But back in the day, we had to get it perfect. Like you had to actually get the curve exactly right. You had to actually get the amounts. Like I found to try to make it realistic. We didn't have the other tools that we have now to kind of fix it up and make it actually look better. It's all about speed and
Yeah.
efficiency, I think, these days.
So here I'm starting to duplicate the plane. So I'm gonna, it's interesting because you can actually, so once I duplicate it, I convert to smart object and rasterize, and now I'm grabbing that same layer mask from the day shot. So now, like, I'm already split it so quickly, right?
Yeah.
So just like create an adjustment layer and clip it down, and then start like pushing it, like just making it dark because it's like going from night to day. And I found right now the split was kind of too sharp, like it's too like, you know what I mean? And so I brushed it in with a softer brush and sort of made it blend a little bit better.
Yeah, cool. I haven't really explained the timer today. For those that aren't familiar with the way that we do things around here, there's a little timer on the screen. So in about 20 minutes, we'll have a bit of a Q&A break and answer like some other bigger questions. So I'll do another shout out for some questions in chat in about 10 minutes.
But yeah, and then I also add like a color balance adjustment layer to just tweak it so that the colors are matching a little bit better. I kind of made it more blue. So it sort of matches that New York City shot a little bit more. And then like at the end later, you could like tweak the colors a lot more in Lightroom. So I just kind of like make sure it looks right here in Photoshop, and then I tweak it again in Lightroom later. Right now I'm tweaking the colors of the Taiwan side. So if you use the adjustment layer, it's sort of like a layer mask, but it's really not like how it's like non-destructive. So you just, at the bottom there's like that little circle icon. And there's all these different options, right, of what. And then so let's say I pick color balance, and then you can clip it down. So you right click and then you do create clipping mask. And that means it's affecting the layer below it and not affecting the whole image. And I find that really useful and really handy to use, because you can always click that again and then just tweak it if you made a mistake or if you want to change something. Here's kind of a little fun part where I start like adding lights to the plane.
Right.
So I just create a new layer at the very top, and then I make just a selection of the window, and then I just paint white onto it. And I was like, maybe white works. I tried to play around with the opacity a bit. And then what I'm going to be doing next is just like duplicating it, like however many windows there are.
Right.
And so see, I'm just like, I think to duplicate, you just hold Control and Alt at the same time and just like duplicate, and just keep going.
And you can see on the right, it's creating a new layer every time that happens.
Yeah, and then once I have all the windows, I just like push all that into one layer because I don't really need them into separate layers. But yeah, and then what's happening? And then once you have all the windows, you just kind of add a glow to it, and then change the opacity, and just kind of have a play with it.
Cool.
Did it freeze again? I don't
think it's freezing.
Oh, no, okay.
Just give it forward a little bit.
Yeah. There we go. I'm just adding the little back window at the door. So now I've pushed it all into one layer. There's a few more windows I need to add towards like just behind the wing. So I'm deleting that part and then grabbing that, and then like I'm continuing and adding more windows on that side. And again, like you can just duplicate the same layer mask as the one you already have on the plane, so that the windows actually just fade out. Like, so it's like it's lit up and then it just starts to fade, if you know what I mean. So it looks much nicer than just like suddenly the window stops from, you know, so now it's like a sort of a gradient. Yeah, but like it's really easy because you can just like copy the same layer mask as the one you already have on the plane. So you just drag that layer mask up and you hold Control and Alt together, and then you get the same layer mask.
Yeah.
Then if you double click the layer, you get this layer style option, and I just add an outer glow, and then you just play around with all the sliders until you think it looks right.
Mm.
So now it's looking like the plane's got like these windows glowing, and like it's at night, it's about to land. But yeah, I think it makes the image, it like just this little bit of detail adds to a photo, like adds to the edit for sure.
Yeah, chat was talking about that as well. It's like those little details, and I've noticed that and said that, you know, we've spoke about that in your work before. It is that attention to detail. It's a very small detail, and people might not even realize that you've done it, right? Like it's just
exactly.
They like the image. It's really pleasing. There's something about, like, they know it's not real, but at the same time, it doesn't feel fake. Like, it doesn't look fake in their in the back of their mind, in their subconscious. And I think,
and that's what I always try to do when I'm editing.
Yeah.
Like I always try to just make sure that like all the details are right. So like, you know, when people look at it, it's like, is this real? Like it's like I want people to question that.
Right.
And then see, I'm adding like the little red light. You know how there's like the bleeping red light when you're in the air. I do the same thing. I just like paint a little red dot and then add the red outer glow to it. Yeah, it's like technique wise, it's quite simple, but like like we were talking about, like it's that level of detail just adds to the photo and just adds to the editing.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I just keep playing with it, stretching it left and right. And then I actually copy it to the wing on the other side as well, and just made the opacity super low on the other side. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, go.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
That layer styles panel on the, like when you open it, there's so many different options. Like there's outer glow, there's inner glow, there's stroke. Like if you just go through them one by one and click them on, you can figure out like what you could potentially do with photos. But yeah, I've kind of learnt that through like my time in architecture, I guess. Like because we used to just do this all the time, like adding lights to houses and adding lights to buildings. Right. And that's sort of where I learnt this kind of stuff back in the day when I was doing university for architecture.
And in architecture,
I should have.
Why do you do that?
Like when we were in uni, like we just started off with like line work drawings. And so what we have to do is we have to add textures. We have to add brick textures. We have to add lights coming in from the windows, all that kind of stuff, right? And so that's sort of where I learnt Photoshop, was at university. I just taught myself how to do it. But yeah, Yusuf made a good comment. I should have renamed the airline. I usually do that, actually. There's some of my photos have like my name written randomly in some, like on a street sign or like on a billboard somewhere hidden in the background. I should have changed it to like Demas Airlines or something. That would have been cool.
What would your tagline be for your airline?
No idea. Take it to the next level.
Attention to detail airlines.
Yeah.
Trans-dimension airline. Yeah. Aaron's saying he can see a hidden code on the airplane.
So I've been a part of this campaign that that Samsung are running the past few months, and it's called microcodes. And so I've been hiding codes in my photos, like a few random photos, and then if you can find a code, you win a phone.
Oh wow.
But it's only in Australia, and the codes will only appear obviously when it's like a Samsung sponsored post. Right. But people have been so into it that like every single photo I post or anything, they was like, "Where's the code?" Like I just get like, it's like so many people are looking for these codes.
Yeah, are people going through like your old photos, like trying to find it?
Sometimes, one person thought he was one of my YouTube videos, and he apparently watched it frame by frame looking for a code.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Whoa." I would never be that. I don't think I'll ever be that cruel to like hide it into one frame of one of my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a very fun campaign. Everyone's so into it. But like the fun of it is like the element of surprise, right? So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be dropping a code tonight or whatever. I'm just gonna drop a code
Yeah.
like out of nowhere, and so whoever wins wins, which is the fun of it.
Mm.
But yes, that is the inside joke about microcodes. But yeah, this is almost getting there, right? Like you can see that like
Yeah.
the plane's in there. I'm just adding a little bit, just like fixing the color balance a little bit. Um, yeah, it's almost there.
How do you know when it
I think
is
now,
when it is there? Like, what's your like? Is it a time thing, or are you thinking about like? Do you just kind of walk away and come back and go, yeah, that's it, like that's pretty much it, or do you sometimes go too far and then have to take it back?
yeah, sometimes. But like in this edit, I'm editing and I get excited when I'm editing. I'm like,
Mm.
this actually looks so cool. Like I just want to like, at this point, I'm like, this looks right. Like I think I just have that feeling of like, I think it's getting there. I can bring it back to Lightroom and make the colors pop out a little bit more. Um, Funny you asked that because I brought it back to Lightroom, so I saved it, brought it back to Lightroom, and I start color tweaking it, blah blah blah. Then after I was done with this step, I actually sent it to my friend Ben, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" Like, it's always good to just get like a little bit of a peer review from your friend,
Mm.
or from your friends, or your wife, or your partner, or whatever. And then Ben was like, "Hey, yeah, that top bit, that blending's a little bit strange. So if you see at the very top of the image, it's just kind of like it's quite abrupt. Like it just
Hmm.
suddenly goes from day to night, and there's no really blending to it towards it.
In the
So
middle.
you'll see that in the middle, yeah, top middle. You'll see after this that I go back into when I fix it up again,
Mm.
and yeah, it's always good. Like just to get another pair of eyes to see your photo and to see something you've been working on for a couple of hours,
Mm.
just to like refresh your mind and be like, and it's always good to have someone who you trust and you know also has a good eye as well.
Right.
Um, but like it's sort of hard when you ask a stranger because you don't know. It probably doesn't.
Oh, we lost you for a second. You're a master of
So
suspense.
like when you fix that.
Oh no, you're back. And he's frozen for a second. Oh no,
Am I back
maybe
now?
Yeah, we're back now. Okay, cool. It's so amazing. You come back like super, super crisp when you do get back. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry guys, something's up with my internet today. So yeah, what I was saying before, right? Like if you send it to a friend who you trust and you know can be harsh to you, but they're not actually being mean.
Yes.
That's the best part. Like if you send it to a stranger, that stranger probably doesn't want to say like mean things to you. They just go, "Oh yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good," right?
Right.
So you should always send it to someone that like can give you not negative, constructive criticism,
Yeah.
right? And that's how you'll improve. Um, yeah. So here I'm just like, I use like a graduated filters and I bring it from the left side and the right side to just like bring that more light to the left side and more darkness to the right side, and then I can pop out highlights and bring out the city lights and the car lights a lot more by just bringing up the highlights on the right side. And I don't want to do that on the left side because then it'll just get too blown out. That's why I use the graduated filters to separate out the different sides. But yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's starting to come out like the colors that I usually would post on my Instagram. It's always that process of like when you're in Photoshop, it's like, oh, the color's a bit strange, but I know at the end I can bring it back in Lightroom.
Yeah. Will you often like jump from Lightroom to Photoshop like that?
Yeah, all the time. Like I always sort of double color grade my photos. So I
Right.
color grade it once, bring it to Photoshop, and then I edit it, tweak it, do whatever I want to it, and then once I click save, it automatically brings it back to Lightroom and it creates a new TIFF file, and then I color grade it again. Usually, like I like to add like a vignette to my photos, just to like draw the eye in a little bit more towards the center, and obviously here towards the plane. So at the end of soon I'll be like adding a little vignette to the photo as well.
So we've got 8 minutes till Q&A, ladies and gentlemen, as well. So we'll take a break and take some questions there. So feel free to drop them in the chat. Could be related to this. I know there was a couple of questions about the competition, so we'll run through that again as well.
Festus asks, is it tempting to make one building on the left side to be replaced by a sharp building from the right side? I think I don't really understand the question, but like bringing one of the dark buildings onto the other side, is that what he's asking?
I think so, yeah. And then maybe color grading it, so maybe because it's sharper.
Yeah, I ended up actually blurring out the sharper one to make it like the same level of depth. And so I think if you watch it previously, I actually add like a Gaussian blur onto the New York side to just bring the plane, like give that plane a little bit more, like bring it more forward and bring the background back. So I kind of try to match the blurriness and the depth of it. And then he said, like, put the top of the H&M building from the right side on that building. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. And I have been wanting to experiment with, like, not just having a straight cut in my, like, day to night edit. Sometimes I wanted to, like, you know, have like a little zigzag, go around different buildings. Like, that might be kind of cool. So maybe I'll try that one day. Yeah. I also should have renamed the H&M building to something else.
Just a DR, just a Demas Rusli.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Everything DR.
I noticed it on your website. It like on the tab when you bring it up. I noticed before it's Demas Rusli, but then in front of it's got your initials DR, so it looks like Dr. Demas Rusli.
Yeah. If only I became a doctor. But yeah, you can see me like tweaking it, going back and forth before and after. You can see that difference just then.
Yep.
And then yeah, if you just maybe scrub a little bit forward. Oh, actually, I add a little radial filter around the plane just to give it that little pop a little bit more. I think I just push the highlights to bring out the lights inside the plane, and then bring up the shadows just a little bit. I think just to bring that plane out a little bit more.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, you can see the before and after. It's quite a big difference. To do like a before and after, like to see the before and after, you hit the backslash button in Lightroom, like the button above the enter key. So you just click that and it shows you the before, click that again, it shows you the after. And it's always good to just like go back and forth sometimes to just like see how far you've gone, or like if you push it too far, or like, you know what I mean?
Right. How far back does it go? Does it just go back one action, or?
No, it shows the before, like completely before you touched it, before you edited it.
Like the original, file.
Yeah. So like as soon as I save it from Photoshop, that's where it's going back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now here I'm going back into Photoshop. And then I'm just using a very soft brush and sort of just like brushing it. Try to get that blend right at the top. And then I thought, because the road sort of just stops, and I think that's why it looks kind of weird. And I was like, I can't get this to look right. So I ended up just copying a little part of the road just below it. And I just copy it up towards the top, just so that I can get like a little bit more like dots and car lights, and just to get that leading line a little bit more.
So it's more like an infinite road rather than kind of stopping at the horizon.
Yeah, it kind of just stops. Yeah.
Have you ever been like totally stumped? Like kind of you're putting together an image like this, you put in a lot of work to it, and you get to something like that and you're like, man, I'm just going to have to crop this or something. Like I can't work out why.
Yeah. It's happened a few times. But I think like the more you edit, the more experience you give yourself,
Mm.
the more you realize like you can copy parts from different photos. You could like, like if it was my first edit, I probably wouldn't know that I can copy the road from below it up, right? But it's because I've done it lots of different times and like tried lots of different things in the past
Yeah.
that like I realized, oh, I can actually just grab this and bring it up, and make it look like it's an infinite road.
Yeah.
Here, like I think this is where it is. This is where it happens. So I'm gonna just copy this part of the road, layer via copy. Oops, and then the different thing came up. Yep, and then just bring it up, and you can see how like just make it smaller as well, fix the perspective, and then just blend it in. Like use a layer mask, color around, like just mask it around black on the edges so that like it's not so harsh. And then you can see how it just like creates the road.
Yeah, it's
and it
pretty
just
quick.
adds to it,
just solves it.
adds to that atmosphere. Yeah, exactly. And it's a little bit too strong now, so I just change the opacity a little bit, make it like less, and then it kind of solved itself. And then now it's saved, and then yeah, there we go.
It's awesome.
So before I brought it back to Photoshop again, I clicked copy in Lightroom, and so I've already copied all the settings that I already changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I hit save again in Photoshop, I just click paste in Lightroom. So it's like you don't have to re-edit it again in Lightroom.
Right.
You just copy all the settings and then paste the settings. So it's a pretty quick process, going back and forth, back and forth.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just like just tweaking it with a very soft brush, going back and forth until you get it right.
Yeah, cool.
It's sometimes also very hard to like if you've been staring at it for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's also very hard to know what's right and what's wrong sometimes.
Mm. And how long did you spend on this one? Like
about 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Total.
Cool. That might be it, I think. I think that's...
Yeah, I just go back to Lightroom, paste it, and then I export. That's it.
Yeah, cool. Well, look at our timing. We've got 25 seconds left on our clock for Q&A. Awesome. I love this timing. I was so surprised the first time I asked you. I said, well, we need about 45 minutes of the editing, and it was exactly 45 minutes. And I was like, that's amazing. How did you do that? You're like, I just did it in Premiere, or I did it in After Effects. Just made it exactly 45 minutes.
I just shortened it to put it. Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I should have thought of that. So yeah, we're going to take Q&A break now.
There seems to be quite a lot of questions here, actually.
Yeah, there's heaps of questions, which is great. So I'm going to bring up Big Demas and Big Flynn. You've got the chat, so I'm superfluous now. So you can interact with the chat. You can ask the questions if you like. There was a question earlier on that I'll just give a shout out because you were explaining what you were doing, so we may have missed it. Just in regards to the competition, there was a question there about what are you looking for? Like, what are the judges looking for in this competition?
I think we're just looking for something we've never seen before. It's like creativity, originality, just like, I don't know, like something that works well. Like as in, it could be a really cool Lightroom edit, something that we've never seen before, or it could be like 2 photos combined. I don't know. Like I've created 3 edits for this FFA myself just to inspire people.
Yeah.
And like I've tried to edit something that I haven't seen yet out of the 3,700 entries so far. So like, I guess that's my goal, is to try to get people to start doing that kind of stuff, to start thinking differently, and that's what I'm looking for, I guess.
Yeah. Have you seen some? I mean, there's so many questions. There's so many entries to go through. I'm sure you've shortlisted. Like you've seen some that.
Yeah. There's some really creative ones. Yeah. For sure, yeah. Something that like I'd never even think of and all that kind of stuff. There's some really cool ones.
And are they from people that are they from professional photographers? Like you're like, oh yeah, that person, or are there a lot of new names in there, or people that you've never?
So many. There's a lot of new names out there that I've never seen before, but there are also people that I know that are doing cool stuff, but yeah, there's always going to be surprises and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, let's check out some of those questions in chat. Do you want to pick one?
Let's just go from the beginning. Well, not the beginning, but like there was one where it's like regarding further editing of the PS TIFF file back in Lightroom. Does the TIFF file have the same dynamic range data as the original RAW file? I think it does. So TIFF files just grab like all the data. That's why they're so massive.
Yeah.
If once you save a TIFF file of Photoshop, it becomes like hundreds of megabytes.
Yeah.
And so it does save all the data from the RAW, and I think that's why TIFF files work better when you go back and forth. The TIFF files, the layers are all there.
Yeah.
And obviously, the more layers you have, the more massive the file will be. So don't go crazy with your layers. Where is it? What's your preferred export settings for Instagram post? I usually just export out of Lightroom, and I just go 100% JPEG. I don't really do anything to it. I just make sure it's like the best quality it can be. And when it gets to Instagram, it just compresses it by itself. Like I don't really think about, it needs to be 1080 wide or whatever. I just do whatever the camera is, edit it however it is, and then when it gets to posting on Instagram or whatever social media it is, then it kind of compresses it by itself.
Yeah.
Do you recommend Lightroom Classic over normal Lightroom? I think I don't recommend, like as in I recommend using Lightroom, but I think I'm just more used to using Classic. That's what I started on, and I think I like Classic maybe a bit better because it's sort of more like a organization tool. Like I've got all my folders there. I can always refer back to, jump back to different folders. Like it's much quicker for me. Whereas Lightroom only is really good when you're trying to like send stuff to your phone because it syncs on the cloud, on the Creative Cloud.
Yeah. It's a bit of a time saver if you're doing that a lot.
Yeah, so if you're editing on your phone, then that's normal Lightroom, and then it'll bring the photo. If you want to edit on the computer later, it'll just appear in Lightroom on the computer. So that's sort of maybe the advantage of each one.
Yeah. There's definitely people in both camps for that. There's some people that are very staunchly like absolutely love Classic Lightroom, and then of course the ease of Creative Cloud. A lot of people
exactly
like that efficiency as well.
What else is there?
So Caesar has one. Notice that your Insta.
I noticed.
Yeah, you go. You do.
That the tree shoot's always going to the center. Is this which tree shoot? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, maybe it's a different image. Maybe if you
this
could.
Is done in Photoshop.
You might need to ask that question again because we're not really sure what you mean.
Do you want to go to my feed? Maybe we can find. Maybe we
can do that. We can check it out. I have that power. Do you want to cube in? Let's cube in. We haven't done that for a while. Look at that.
Oh wow! Look at that transition.
Cool effects, guys. We've got it all.
Oh, is it that tree? That one at the top? That one. Maybe that one. Yeah.
This one here. Let us know if we've
tree
got that
shoots
right.
Always going to the center. So that one is done by creating a panorama. So I shot lots of different photos going upwards. So I go like shoot straight, shoot up, shoot up, shoot up, shoot up, and you keep shooting.
Right.
And then using all those photos I create, I select them all in Lightroom and then go right click and then merge, and then you click panorama, and then it just does it for you. Like it automatically creates this sort of panorama effect. Yeah, I think this is what he's talking about. It says photo 3. So that's the third photo on my feed. Right. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get this using a very, very, very wide angle lens, but this is already on 12 mils and I shot upwards. So it's like wider than 12.
Right. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's a very cool effect. Funnily enough, I made a very quick 15-second tutorial on my TikTok on how to do this. So you can find it on my TikTok.
Find it on your TikTok. What are you on TikTok?
It's Demas Rusli. It's just my full name. Someone took Demas.
Wow. Um, yeah, there's a couple of comments that have happened through here. Like Caroline was saying, thanks for doing the stay home FFA, and Yusef was saying is saying in the chat, it's been away from editing photos in Photoshop, and the campaign has really got me back again. So thanks, Demas. Like, why do you think like it's had such a? I mean, obviously there's probably more people at home, and it was a very well thought out kind of campaign. But what do you think? Yeah, like is driving people to be entering like this?
I don't know, but I think like what I like to do on my feed is always try to show people that you can do more with photography. It doesn't have to be just a straight photo. You could try different things. You can add things to it. You could get rid of things to it. And so, like throughout the however many years I've been posting on Instagram, like I think I always try to inspire people to do the same. Like there's comments like, "Oh, I'll never be able to edit like you," and that kind of stuff. But I think you can. Like everyone can edit. Like as long as you put the time into it and you practice and you know, the first time you do it, it's not going to be perfect. And so like give it a few years. Like if you keep doing it every day, then of course you're going to get better and better and better at it. So my goal is to always try to, help people. I always try to put out tutorials on my YouTube or in my Insta stories and just show people that like you can do so much with photography. It doesn't have to be just a straight up photo.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I think it's also, with the pandemic happening and everyone's in their house, that also helps to it.
Yeah.
And it was very like, kind of the timing was sort of crazy because I wanted to make it, I wanted to make this contest when I reached 300K on Instagram. Right. And so it's like a giving back kind of thing. And I reached 300K just a few months ago. And so it sort of like led up to this and the pandemic happened. And it's like, it just sort of timing worked out.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's great to see people coming together, like and being creative, and like it's a nice way to collaborate, right? Like they're getting to use this photography from these amazing photographers from places that they may not be able to go to as well. Like even in a normal circumstance, like I've never flown around in a helicopter in New York. Like that's a lovely like thing to do, and to get like such great photos and be allowed to use them and remix them and publish them out, get feedback. Chance to win is always nice. Competition is always good. Like, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful thing that you guys have done.
I always say like this sort of contest is sort of like a way where like you can collaborate with us. Like it's like a collaboration, right? In a way, you're using our photos and then if you create like something epic, like we'll feature it. Like it's like there's a collaboration process. There's like you can get creative yourself, push your creative boundaries, and it's always fun.
Yeah, super cool. All right, well, great. We can keep taking questions as we're going, but we'll jump into the second part because we've got a whole nother edit to show, which is super cool.
Maybe let's go back to the feed, or if you have the file, do you want to just like show what the second edit looks like, the final product?
I have this.
Just go to my Instagram feed, maybe.
Okay.
If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see that it should appear somewhere. It shouldn't be too far, but sort of a little bit down. So there's this house in Kyoto. It's called the Face House. It actually is called the Face House. There it is. Yes. It's very funny. Like the face it looks like a face, obviously. And I've only ever seen photos of it during the day. Like I've never seen it during the night.
Yeah.
And so I was in Kyoto towards the end of last year with my friend Koki there, who's standing in the photo, and we got to Kyoto at night, and we're like, maybe there's nothing really much else to explore. We'll just have a look at this house. Maybe the lights are on the eyes. That might be really cool. Like we've never seen any shots done at night.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go there. And then when we arrived, no lights were on. And it turned out it's not a house. It's a shop, and the shop was closed.
Right.
And so we decided, like, what if we just create the lights ourselves? And I wanted to create like this flickering animation, like it's like the house like coming alive, and like it's like it's blinking at you or whatnot. And so for the mouth, we used a light ourselves. So we placed like a big light stick behind my friend to get that shadow of his legs. And then it kind of lit up the whole mouth, which is cool. And like underneath the nose, you can see like it's sort of lighting up. And then I decided maybe I can add the lights in Photoshop myself and then create this animation.
Yeah.
And so the technique for the eyes is exactly the same technique as the plane window.
Right.
So it's I thought it might be a cool sort of session to just show both. It's because you can use this technique in lots of different ways.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, I really like showing similar, like the same technique, but like applied in such a different way, which was really cool. So I think this is going to be great. Do you want me to flick over to
sure.
the edit? Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
So I took 2 photos. So one's like a blank photo of like with no lights and everything, and then I use a tripod so it's got exactly the same frame. And then I took another photo with the light in the mouth. So here we're starting off just by color grading both photos first, and I think you only need to color grade one of them. And then you can copy the same grade to the other photo and you get the same look, sort of. Is it starting? Oh,
yeah,
wait.
It's starting.
Oh, okay, there we go.
We're moving.
So yeah, it's just me flicking back and forth. So you can see the before photos look so different because it's like I shot it quite low angle and I shot it upwards. And so this is a good, you use this technique in Lightroom, like the guidelines, just select 2 straight points, 2 lines that are supposed to be vertical, and then it will straighten up your photo for you. In the previous edit, I used Photoshop to straighten, but in this one, I found that it was okay using Lightroom, so I just use Lightroom. You'll see that you'll get these 2 triangles at the bottom. You can fix that later in Photoshop.
Do you need to be shooting with have a lot of information, like have a lot of pixels to be able to change the perspective so abruptly?
I think so, but I mean, it's okay. Like if you're just going to be posting on Instagram, I think it should be fine with whatever camera. So yeah, so I'm just grabbing like 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines, and then that way you know that your photo is completely straight.
Yeah. It is a cool technique. Yeah, exactly.
It's like having a tilt shift lens. You know those tilt shift lenses where like it keeps everything perfectly straight. It's like what all architectural photographers use. Right. I don't own one, so I just use this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like a lens where it kind of shifts up and down the front bit. And so you can change the perspective of it. Like once you shift it up, you get like a higher view of it, but everything keeps straight. Like all the lines become straight still. Yeah, so this is my way of cheating and not buying a really expensive tilt shift lens.
Just edit in post.
Yeah, exactly. And then I always crop it to 4:5 ratio, and then I use the rule of thirds guidelines to make sure that like everything's centered and looking, composed correctly.
You center a lot of your figures. Why is that?
I think it's just because on your phone, it's kind of always like when you're holding a phone, you're always kind of drawn towards the center of a photo. So it always feels right in the center. I don't know, for me. But when you do like more landscape photos, then you can try to play around with the rule of thirds and put your figure on the right side or the left side, usually. Yeah. But it's because it's so like elongated that there's not really much space to move around on the left and the right. So that's why I always put my subject in the center, or try to put them in the center. But yeah, again, with Lightroom, you just try to tweak all the sliders one by one. Just move it left, move it right, just until you find that sweet spot, and then you just stop. That's sort of what I usually do. In this case, I just try to bring out like the face a little bit more. It's like a yellow house, so I wanted to push up the colors of that house a little bit more, and then obviously pop out the blues because that's sort of what I like to do in my photos usually.
Yeah, like a little bit of a cooler blues rather than the warmer.
Yeah. Later on, I'm gonna Photoshop stars in the sky, so it kind of gives that blue pop a lot more. So right now it's still looking a little bit like grayish, the sky, because it's super cloudy that day.
The tilt shift lens is on your wish list, Christine. Yeah. There's always new toys.
Yeah,
There's always new gadgets that are on the wish list, aren't there?
I think Sony, because I use a Sony, they don't make tilt shift lens yet, so
Right.
that's why I don't have one. Or they're usually quite expensive too. I've used a friend's one. He uses a Canon. It's quite fun to have a play around with, actually.
Mm.
But yeah, just take your time with it. Like, there's no need to rush when you're editing photos. Just like have a fun with it, have a play,
Mm.
move the sliders left and right. Like, it's just like your mind sort of thinking. It's like your mind just like trying to bring out what you're thinking onto a photo, right?
Yeah, yeah. And did you have a plan for this one? Because this is a little bit different to some of the other stuff in the sense that it was kind of created as a GIF. You wanted the lights to flash on and off. Like, is that something that you had thought? You're in the shower and you're thinking about, oh, okay, actually, that's what I'm going to do with it. Like, did you think about it and then come in and then do it, or did you discover that that's what you wanted to do as you were editing?
No, this is actually like when I was there at the time.
Yeah.
When we decided to turn on the lights on the eyes, like I had this idea, like let's just turn on the eyes and the lights.
Mm.
I made it sort of like a collaboration with my friend. He did it as well.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to do animation. I was like, it would be so cool if it just like flickered like a house, like it's alive. So I knew from the beginning I was going to be doing this animation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was so excited that like right after this, we went to dinner, and after dinner, I went back to the hotel room and like started editing it.
Oh, wow.
And by like the next morning, we had to wake up so early for a sunrise shoot because I was on a job with Japan Tourism at the time. The next morning at 6 a.m., I was like already showing everyone's like, oh, look at this. Like everyone was like, that's like, yeah.
Does that happen
You
often?
get really
like,
excited
you get
sometimes.
so excited?
Yeah.
Like you get so excited.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't sleep. I have to edit this now. I have to do it.
Yeah. You get into like these like editing holes and you just like lose track of time sometimes. But like, yeah, just have fun. Like you just like, doesn't have to be serious. Just like, just having a play, just letting your mind get creative.
Mm.
Yeah.
So feel free to ask questions as we're going along, gang, as well. Jump in there. If you're over on YouTube, I should have mentioned this before. If you're over on YouTube or something and you don't know what we're talking about, we can't see your comments in YouTube. So you need to jump over to behance.net/live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So because there's only one chat. So jump over there if you want to ask questions.
So
that we can see.
if lots of people are on YouTube, then we can't. Okay, unless we open up the YouTube chat. But like, I guess it's probably much easier just opening up one.
Yeah. Usually just do the one. Usually just do the one.
Yeah.
Chat. I'll give YouTube a shout out. We'll have a quick little look.
Those power lines at the top, did you tempted to remove them? I was tempted, but I kept them because I wanted to give it that sense of like that Japanese alleyway feel. Like it's like, I didn't want to make it look like it's so surreal that it's just a random house in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to keep the power lines to look like it's like, to make it look like it actually exists. You know what I mean? Like it's like actually there.
Yeah.
It gives it a bit more life, I think, with the power lines.
But like your balance between like surrealism and actual realism, like a constant kind of battle between the two.
Yeah, I had to like mask out later on. You'll see, I had to mask out the power lines that are going through the eyes. Like I actually wanted to keep the power line so that it's going like it's shining through the power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christine, you don't want to open the YouTube chat. Feels with spammers off a very bad company. I will say, we've said this a lot lately, but yeah, we love being on Behance because it's such a friendly chat. Everyone's super cool. It's like the best online chat ever. So yeah, maybe we'll just hang out here, hang out with you guys.
Yeah, it's funny because like I hadn't posted on my Behance ever until this week when I realized that like lots of people will be looking at my Behance account. Right. So there's like a few projects on there, and I'm hoping to put a lot more within the next few weeks.
Cool.
So yeah, if you guys want to check out some of my work, there's only 3 projects up on there at the moment. Hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll have at least like 5 to 10. Have a look on my Behance.
Check it out. Yeah, the internet's a funny place, isn't it? But you guys are cool.
So I copied the same settings from that photo I was editing in Lightroom to the other photo, the one that was with no lights on, and then I opened both in Photoshop and I copied both into the same file, and it just automatically lands on top of each other. And so now that you see there's 2 layers, right, and you can flick them on and off, and you can already see the mouth sort of flickering on and off. Here I'm just filling in the 2 sides. Yeah, filling up the triangles using the content aware. You just draw triangles and then it fills it in. It's really easy for the program because it's just like a road texture. It's nothing too complicated for Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to do very well with patterns and textures and repeatable things like that.
Yeah, yeah. You see on the left side here, the pole looks kind of weird. So I did another clone stamp. I mean, content aware, and then it fixed it a little bit. It was so easy.
Yeah, it's so fast.
Yeah, I dragged in a guideline just to check if the nose was in the center, just to check if Lightroom straightened it. I was like, let's check, and it worked. It was fine. So yeah, you can already see that it's already like flickering on and off. I did the same with the other photo as well.
You don't copy it over?
I could have. I think at the end of this, I realized that when I flicker it on and off, it started the content aware wasn't matching, so I copied it at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably should have copied at the beginning. That's a better idea.
It's easy to like backseat.
Yeah.
Backseat edit. Hovering, what is it? Hovering art director. Yeah. Maybe you should have done it that way. Caesar was you mentioned TikTok. What's your favorite social media? Like, in which one do you get your better results? Because obviously TikTok, TikTok's somewhat, fairly new, and then you're doing a lot on YouTube now as well. Like, you have the YouTube channel.
Yes.
I imagine traditionally Instagram is where most people will know you from. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Like, what are your thoughts on like TikTok versus YouTube versus like Instagram kind of thing?
I think so I started on Instagram, and that's where I grew a following, and so I'm obviously quite loyal to Instagram. I'm still posting on there quite often. If you want to pause this for a bit, because it's the eyes are starting to get filled. But like, I think as a creator, you need to not just focus on one platform.
Right.
You need to, like, I only just realized this like a year ago or something, like after creating on Instagram for so long. Like, I realized that like you need to branch out. You gotta, have a good website. You gotta push out all your work on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. Just try to, grow everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it really hard to grow on TikTok at the moment because I don't know, maybe it's my content there, but it's different to what everyone else is posting on TikTok. It's a different world out there on TikTok for sure. But I'm just trying to adjust, and the more you post, the more chances your like video might get seen, right? So just try to be active everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last few weeks, especially during like ISO, I've been, updating my website, trying to make more YouTube videos, posting on Twitter, posting on TikTok, just trying to like do as much as I can. And yeah, in terms of results, obviously on Instagram, I get the best results. But I've seen so many other people who have a massive TikTok following, and from there it's kind of trickled their way to like the YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I guess the one downside of Instagram that I've found is that it doesn't spread. Like, as in, like, if you have a massive Instagram following, it's quite hard to grow on other platforms. Because if, let's say, you put a link on your bio, or you put a swipe up link on your stories, let's say it's a YouTube link, it doesn't log you in. Like, it puts you to this browser where you're logged out of YouTube.
Right.
So you can't like subscribe to someone super quick. You can't, like, it's sort of a bit strange. Whereas on like YouTube or on TikTok, when you link your account and it trickles back to your Instagram, you're already open and your app is already like logged into your Instagram.
Right.
And so it's very easy for someone to just click follow.
There's less steps for the user.
Yeah.
Just click follow. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So like I find that a little bit strange from Instagram because it's so like inward facing. It doesn't really want to include other apps. And that's why I think branching out and trying to grow on YouTube, trying to grow on TikTok, everywhere is the best option for a creator today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only realized that a little bit too late, which is, it's fine. But now I'm starting to do it, so it's good.
Yeah, cool. Oh, we're all learning.
Better late than
never. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, back to the edit. I just drew a circle, and then I transform the selection. So you can go transform selection, and then you can tweak the selection until it matches perfectly with the circle of the eyes. And then I just paint white inside those circles. Sort of a little bit scary looking at the moment. And then I played around with like the opacity, just trying to see if like what would look better. Like at 100, it looked like it was too strong. And then here I'm masking out the power lines in front of the eyes. So I'm literally just drawing like very quick rectangles.
And how long did it take to do this edit?
So this is not the original recording of the edit that I did. So I redid it. So I already knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So this one took me 45 minutes. Like it actually finished on 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
But I think when I first did it, it would have taken me like over an hour.
Yeah. You knew. Yeah. Exactly. You knew exactly where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do the second time.
Yeah. So again, here I'm adding that outer glow effect like I did before on the plane. And yeah, just already that gives it that extra punch to the, that glowing of the eyes.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit strong, so I think I brought it down a little bit later. You can also try to play around with a few of the blending modes. So I think I chose screen, and then I just like, it gives a little bit different effects to different things when you start blending photos and like adding layers.
Yeah, it's always trial and error with adjustment layers. I never know exactly which one I've used. Just play around until it kind of looks right.
Yeah, you just kind of like right now. There's that also new function where if you just hover over them, it'll show a preview of what it will look like.
That's nice.
So that's really handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they only brought it out in the last edit, last like reiteration of Photoshop. I was like, so here what I'm trying to do is like when the eyes are turned on, you should have more glow on the buildings next to it. So now I'm adding like a white sort of glow, onto the buildings next to it.
Right. So this is like the splash of light that's coming out, that's being emitted from the lights inside. From
the eyes, exactly. So I'm deleting it from the walls that are like facing us. So it should only be on the walls that are like perpendicular to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just use like a brush later on and just brush it out and make it sort of more like soft. So obviously it's very harsh at the moment. and you change the opacity, just play it around with it. Yeah, so it's like you always have to just think when you're editing, especially when you're adding lights or getting rid of people. Like, is a shadow gone, or is if the lights shining here, I should add shadow to the person. Like, you need to really think of what the real life situation will be, just to make that sense of realism, like to get that image looking real.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like brushing it away and just trying to see, like, adding that little bit of light glow onto the buildings on the side.
So what are you brushing in now?
I'm brushing away.
Brushing
I'm
away, okay.
using a layer mask, and I'm painting black, so it's essentially erasing,
Yeah, cool.
like making it a little bit more soft. But if I make a mistake, I can paint white and then bring it back.
Yeah.
And then I also have to like get rid of all the power lines that are in front. So now I'm trying to like find it all. So I use the magic wand, I turn off contiguous, and I click on one of the power lines, so it selects all the black in the whole photo. And maybe that might work. Like, I'm just trying things out at the moment. I'm just trying to select just the different blacks. If it doesn't work, then I end up selecting, each power line bit by bit.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of worked, and I just go like layer by copy, and I brought it to the top just to see if like it will bring the power lines to the top, and then I can start rubbing out different things. So like the eyes obviously came back, and so I'm using a layer mask and I'm rubbing it away. Yeah, so I brought back. So the aim here right now is trying to bring back the power lines, so the lights on the sides are behind the power lines.
Right.
Where's everyone from? I'm kind of curious. Is everyone like in Australia or in America?
Oh, yeah, let us know where you're from. Get people from all over the world over here on Behance. It's super cool. I think, yeah, we have like some regular people on that are like, it's like 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Christine said she was from Manhattan before.
Yeah, what's the time in New York?
I think it's night time.
I need clocks. I need like, like one of those airport like set of clocks up here. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Jan's from Oslo.
Norway. Oh wow. Really want to visit Norway one day. Oh, 3 a.m. That's my usual sleeping time.
Oh my gosh.
Even later sometimes. LA. Hello, Miguel.
Mm-hmm. India. Early. Oh, wow. Early for India.
Oh, Vishal. I know Vishal. Hey, Vishal.
What's up?
From Indo.
Nice.
My homies.
Manhattan, the concrete.
So yeah,
jungle. I hope you're staying safe there, Christine.
Yeah, I hope everything's alright in New York. So now I'm kind of just selecting the power lines myself. Like, it's kind of rough, but it's okay. I just kind of select so it kind of just brings it forward a bit. Then I use like the blur tool to just like blur the edges later. So you can select it roughly and then blur it out. So now see how the power line's going forward now?
Cool.
And it's sort of a little bit jagged and harsh, so I'm now using the blur tool to blur the layer mask.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it looks much better, obviously, with the power line in front, and like you can see the glow, yeah. 6 a.m. in India. London,
Nice.
1:30 a.m.
Caesar from Sydney. That's us. Hello, mate.
Hey.
It's 10:30. It's 10:30 there. I know that one. From London. Hey, JC. That's cool. Oh, it's good that you're staying safe there. We actually did a live stream this week in the Honor Heroes campaign, and had an illustrator, Bianca Beers, and she did a profile of a nurse that was a first responder that was her partner's mother.
Yeah,
Which
I
was
can't
really
believe
sweet.
that.
Yeah.
I've met both of them. I know Bianca and I met the boyfriend, and
All right.
I didn't know that I didn't know that the boyfriend's mum was a nurse in New York, which is
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I actually met Bianca for the first time on a shoot I did for Nike, and she was the talent. She was the model,
Oh, right.
and yeah, I shot her, and I think her profile picture on Instagram for a while was my photo, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, 3:35 a.m. in Turkey. Wow, thanks for joining in, guys.
Mm. Question for me. Need to log into my Creative
I need
Cloud in
to.
order to add content. Yep, you do. Can I change my Creative
Okay.
Cloud but keep my Behance account linked to a new Adobe account? Don't actually know the answer to that question. I hope that you can. You might need to reach out to someone though, for Behance.
Is that a matter just changing the email address maybe on your account?
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
probably how I would try to do it rather than try to have two accounts and link them. I'd try to change my
Yeah.
account if you can do that. But I do understand that some people have like their work account and then like their private account as well.
Uh,
That's my case. And then it's like
yeah.
enterprise and private. So, but if you reach out to the
Yeah.
Behance team, like there's a whole community team there. They're great. Like I'm sure they could probably help you out. But I don't have a quick answer to that. I'm sorry. I have to look into it. Oh yeah, you basically
So
answer that question. Yeah, sorry.
now I'm trying to just give the white light a little bit of color to it. By adding an adjustment layer. So I added the hue saturation adjustment layer. And then if you tick that colorize button, that little checkbox, you can change anything. Like if you can change white to a certain color, which is nice, which is like super useful sometimes. Just to add that little tint of like orange or yellow to it. And that's what I tried to do here.
3:35 here in Turkey. Great to have you here. And Bali. Ooh,
Yeah.
Bali's lovely.
My Indonesian family's here.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that I'm actually Indonesian.
Right.
I have a very Indonesian name. Like Rusli, last name is quite Indonesian.
Mm.
And everyone gets shocked when they hear I'm Indonesian.
I get shocked.
Yeah, they're like, I didn't know, you know. I can speak it fluently.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Give us
grew
give
up.
us a demo.
What do you want me to say?
Well, I don't know. What's the Indonesian greeting?
Apa kabar?
There we go.
Yeah. Apa kabar semuanya? But yeah, everyone gets shocked when I can speak because I moved to Sydney when I was 7 years old, but I spoke Indonesian every day to my parents, my sisters, and so I can still speak Indonesian.
Mm. Did you
Yeah.
did your parents do the thing where had one parent speak? I know Jeremy's case, he's French, and he had one parent speak to him in French and the other parent speak in English. That's the way they tackle
No,
it.
both parents spoke Indonesian.
Right. Oh, there you go. That solves it as well.
And I just learned English at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
When I first came to Sydney, I couldn't speak any English, And so I just randomly started speaking Indonesian to random kids at school. Everyone thought I was weird.
Did you run into any Indonesian kids? And you're like, oh, yes.
No, not at all. Actually,
Really?
that's why maybe I learned English like much faster because I
Right.
had to.
You didn't have a choice.
Because there was no way for me to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did now is I just combined everything I did for the night shot and put it into a folder
Mm-hmm.
so that like I can switch it on and off really quickly. And then now I'm tweaking the switched off side, just adding like a adjustment layer, changing the brightness, making it a little bit darker, so that like it gives that contrast. You know, when the light switched off, it's like it's much darker. Yeah. So now it's like, oh look, it's on and off like that. I think this is where I maybe start to notice that the floor is getting a little bit different. The one way
right.
I should have copied before, yeah. But I think I'll fix that later. Yeah.
So we got 15 minutes left, everybody, on the edit and on the rocket clock here. So if you do have any more questions, get them in. We'll try to answer them for you. So how much longer is left in the competition for those out there that maybe haven't entered yet or want to enter?
1 week.
1 week left.
Yeah.
Where's
it's going to be so hard to pick. I'll announce on my Instagram, and I'll post the winner's shot on my feed.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And Terry will as well, I think.
Oh, nice.
So here I'm adding stars. So it's a photo that I took. I just use the same photo all the time. I took this shot ages ago, and I just use it. It's like now a template that I just like drop in.
Right.
And then what you just got to do is like mask out whatever's in front. So the buildings, the power lines, all that kind of stuff needs to get masked out from the stars. Yeah, this is quite simple because it's like just straight lines and buildings and stuff. So I'm just masking that out now. And then the power lines, you can just like, it's kind of actually already okay, the power lines. When you just switch the mode to darken, it looks okay already. But there's some parts where like it gets super thin, then I think I fixed that a little bit after this. Yeah.
There's a question in chat. Did you make the Insta video in Photoshop? I think we'll probably see it, won't we?
Yes, I made it in Adobe Premiere.
Oh, you did make it. You made it in Premiere. Okay.
But you can do it in Photoshop too if you wanted to. You can make a GIF in Premiere. I mean, in Photoshop. But I just found it like it was so much easier to just like block it in Premiere.
Right. You're pretty comfortable in Premiere?
Yeah, I'm starting to get pretty comfortable now. I've been making lots of videos.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is like I copied just the power lines and like the stuff just in the actual photo, and I'm bringing the levels up so like the blacks become darker and then the whites become white. And then if you switch the blending option later to lighten or darken, it only brings the black part. Like it only shows the blacks. It gets rid of the whites. And that's how I'm bringing the power lines back forward. Yeah, but like it's just a bunch of trial and error and trying to see like what works and what doesn't work. Yeah, see like that multiply works a little bit better. But like just try to play around with it. I think I went with hard light at the end of it. Yeah, so that's better.
So how are you going to go through 6,000, 7,000, whatever it ends up going to be, images? Like, how do you go through all
So
that?
I've been pretty on top of it. Like every day, every night, I like every single like person who's entered the contest. I like all their photos just to I have a look at all what they've entered, and if it catches my eye, I save it to a folder. And then
Right.
now I have a folder of like maybe 50 photos or 50 something that I like,
Yeah.
and then I have to chop that down.
Wow. My God. So
Yeah,
you've liked 6,500 photos.
3,700. Yeah.
Jesus.
I have a my thumb is sore.
It's a lot.
But yeah, it's starting to get there now, right? Like you can
Mm.
see the progression and the sky. I think
Mm.
the stars really make it a lot more like moody.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the stars adds a lot. Like at the beginning, I've seen the image before, I've seen the animation before, and then as soon as you added the stars, it really pops it out.
Yeah,
It's that nice combination we were talking about earlier between like the surreal and real. Because I wouldn't
yeah,
have really thought it was fake at all.
yeah,
I didn't really notice
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like that what we were talking about before, but it just adds so much to it.
Yeah, and also when you're animating it, if you add like a really cool sound effect,
Mm.
it gives it that even more like, atmospheric vibe to it.
Yeah.
So if you watch it on my Instagram, you'll hear like a sound effect of a light switch flicking on, and then like when a light goes like
Yeah, like a
it adds that
fluorescent
effect as
flick.
well.
Yeah.
And then it's got like a bit of like cricket sounds like in the nighttime when you hear like crickets like
Yeah.
yeah, so I added a bit of that, and I grabbed the sounds off like a stock sound music website,
Yeah.
or sometimes I just grab it off YouTube too. Sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, Alex. Alex Mills in the house.
Hey, what
What's
up,
up, buddy?
Alex?
How's the guitar practicing going? It's your ISO project, right? Love seeing your stories strumming away. 8 minutes left, boys and girls, and we'll start winding down. So if you do have any more questions for Demas about the competition, about the edits that you've seen today, about life in general, photography,
Yeah, ask me anything.
AMA,
Does
8 minute
be
AMA.
anything? Hey TK, what's up?
Tim.
That video we posted last week had a pretty good response to it. Like, it was good. I think a lot of people seem to enjoy the different like takes on that one location.
Right. Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, I guess last week my friend Ben and I posted a video on our YouTube channel called 529 Podcast, and we basically shot a location in California called Alabama Hills, and it was me, Ben, TK, and this other guy called James, and all four of us had a different take on the location completely, and it was super fun to shoot and create. Yeah. Thanks for sharing the link.
Yeah, no worries. It's always good. And no one has to go hunting for it. So there's a link in chat to the 529 podcast, which is great. And it's you and Ben?
It's Ben and I, yeah.
You and Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's
What
great to
gets
hear.
more likes, photos or videos? So on Instagram, photos gets more likes, but videos I think get you more traction. Like it puts you on the explore feed a bit more. You get more views, you get more impressions. So you should try to post both.
And that's
Like
on Instagram.
yeah, on the explore feed. Yeah, and on the explore feed, I think they're trying to push out video a lot more. So people are seeing a lot more videos. Yeah, so at the end of this, I just export out 2 photos pretty much. So it's just like a photo that's got a light shining on it, and then the photo without the light shining on it. And then I just bring it to Premiere, and then I just like turn it on and off on 2 different tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Does slideshow count as a video? I think when you do a carousel, you don't get the same amount of traction as a single video because you can't see the views anymore. Like it becomes just like a photo post, I guess. So I don't think Instagram counts that as a video. That's what I've been learning from it.
Instagram
so whenever
algorithm.
I post a video on Instagram, it's always just a single video. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I'm opening up Premiere.
Someone was asking about gear before, and actually, I think since last time you were on, you actually created a whole gear page, right?
I did, and a gear YouTube video of every single gear I use.
Wow. I'm going to share that in chat just in case anyone was wondering, because there were some questions about that. So, yeah, you've laid it out very nicely. It's nice and easy to find, which is pretty cool. So I just dropped that in chat.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, so now I've put the 2 day and or not day, but it's like a light up and not lit up photos onto 2 different tracks. I think at the moment I'm trying to find a song or find that clip of the light switch. So here we go, bring it in, find the point where it's like what I want to use. And literally just like time the on and off point to where the sound of the light is flickering. Best starter gear. I think the best starter gear, as I said in my YouTube video on my channel, is whatever gear you have currently. Try to use that first. So whether it's a phone or whether it's a little pocket camera, whatever you have that can take photos, use that first and try to master that. So if you can take really good photos on a phone, you can take good photos with anything. And so and once you've like outgrown your phone, then you can start looking to invest into buying a camera. But when you're looking for a camera, I think anything with a manual function to it is fine, as like whatever fits within your budget, right? So if you can learn about ISO, shutter speed, aperture, all that kind of stuff, then then like once you learn those settings and like learn how to use it manually, then you can use any camera. And so let's say you start off, let's say like me, I started on a very like beginner entry level DSLR on a Canon. And then it was like a Canon 1100D is what I started with, and I had one lens, which is the 50mm f1.8, which is like this cheap plastic lens. And so once I kept shooting on it and started to get to know how to use a camera, I realized that I wanted to upgrade. And when I was upgrading, I was thinking like, do I want a mirrorless or whatnot? And then I looked into the Sony system, and then that's where I started to go with the Sony system. But if you like that, if you thought that the Canon system was good for you, then you just keep going, right? You just keep using the Canon system and trying to buy like a bigger Canon camera. But at the time, I wanted to get something lighter and something smaller, so that's why I went for the Sony system. But like, there's all these different reasons for everything. But there's no bad camera, I don't think. I don't think that's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a pretty old D90 sitting in a bag that I got no idea what to do with. It's
But you can still use it, right? Like if you were to go out and take a photo, you would use that and
I totally
and
could.
shoot with it.
I totally could.
Yeah.
Yeah. getting towards the end. We're getting low on the timer clock, so we've got about a minute left on the clock, and we've got about 3 minutes left on the edit. So do you want to just kind of explain what you're doing here in Premiere to take us out? Oh, I'm sure you do want to do that, but you've frozen right at the end. Hopefully Demas will be back as we finish up. But it's been great having everybody with us today. Sorry about the cutouts. I'm really glad that Demas has gone to the monumental effort of showing us the edit and giving me the file so that we can still see it. Because I don't know what we would have done in that case. So and thanks for the great questions in chat. There's been some awesome questions, and thanks for helping each other out, like jumping in and giving advice as well, like Tim mentioning, anything you can get your hands on, absolutely. And while we're waiting for Demas to come back, I'm just going to pause the video here. I'm just going to bring over the competition for those that may have missed it. So this is the actual competition. So hashtag stay home FFA 20. You can still enter. There's some amazing prizes to be won. There's like Australian prizes because that's where Demas is, that's where photographers are. But there's also worldwide prizes as well. So if you punch in your email and everything like that, you can jump in, get the files, and have your own edit, which we were chatting a little bit about. Oh, hey Demas, you're
Sorry,
back.
I died again.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I just plugged the competition one more time, but we've only got about 2 minutes left. So do you want to just kind of explain like the final thing that you're doing in Premiere to finish up?
Yeah, so I'm just like chopping up the photo and the two layers. So now it's like you can see it's flickering on and off. And yeah, so you just make it kind of like a looping video that it's like it's flickering like that. Yeah, so it's like making different little cuts. So it's like on off, kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And how would you export this? What would you export this as to get it onto Instagram?
I just use the default settings that it's like H.264.
Yep.
And then just tick like maximum render depth, maximum render quality, and then that's it. I don't really change anything when it comes to export settings.
Cool.
But yeah, so it's like that, and then it switches off, and then it starts again. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's about it.
That's the final edit. That's great. That's good.
The final edit.
We've got about 30 seconds to a minute left. So let's see your face and my face. Thanks again, chat. I did say a quick little goodbye. You've been great. Been fantastic this week.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone,
for joining in.
Yeah, it's been awesome, and thank you, Demas, and thanks for pre-recording everything so we could watch it through our internet roller coaster. It's been great.
Wow, so bad the internet today. I don't know what's happening.
It happens. It happens. It's all good. Thanks for waking up with us today, and we'll catch you here on Adobe Live another time, man.
Thank you for having me. I hope everyone learned something today, and hope to be back soon. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.